Okay, hi first grade friends. Today we are going to be looking at lesson 2-5. We are going to be asked to add in any order. So we're going to be looking a lot at flip-flopping those add-ins. And our page number today is 103. So if you need a minute to grab your book and open to page 103, you can do that now. I'm going to go ahead and share my workspace with you. You can see here I'm on lesson 2-5. Again, my page number is 103. You'll see Jada on that page, and she has some information to share with us. So I'm going to go ahead and read that, and I'd like you to follow along. It says, write an addition equation for the green and yellow cubes in each cube tower. How are the addition equations the same? How are they different? Okay, so the first thing they're asking us to do is write an addition equation for each of the towers. And then they want us to talk a little bit about how the addition equations are the same and then also how they are different. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the first tower. I have my green cubes on top, so I'm going to add those first. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So my first add-in will be 4 to match this picture. Okay, so I have 4 there. Plus, now I'm going to count my yellow counters. I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I have 4 plus 3 as my equation. If you have this in your long-term memory, then you can write that sum here. And now we're going to go ahead and use the strategy of counting on to see if your sum is correct. So I'm going to put 4 in my head, and I'm going to count on 3 more. Please do that with me. It sounds like this. 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 counters altogether, so my sum is 7. Okay? All right, now I'm going to do the same thing for my next tower. This time they started with the yellow cubes on top. So I have 1, 2, 3 yellow cubes. I'll go ahead and write that for my first add-in. Plus, now I'm looking at my green cubes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this time my equation is 3 plus 4. Okay, you can write the sum here. And now we're going to check what you did by using the counting on strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 in my head this time, and I'm going to count on 4 more. And I'd like you to do that with me. It sounds like this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's 7. All right, so now I've done the first part of the directions, which is to write an equation to match each tower. The next thing they ask us to do is to think about how the addition equations are the same and how they're different. All right, well, one thing that I'm noticing is the same is that they both have the same sum, right? They both have 7 for the sum. Another thing that I'm noticing that is the same is that in both towers, I have 4 green. So I have 4 green here, I have 4 green here. Okay. You might already have noticed that the yellows are also the same, right? I have 3 yellows in the first tower, and I have 3 yellows in the second tower. So what is different about the two equations? That's right. In the first tower, they started with the 4, the green ones, right? And then they added the 3 yellow. Well, in the second equation, they started with the 3 yellow, and then they added the 4 green. Okay, so they took those 2 add-ins and they flip-flopped them, didn't they, in the second equation? All right, but notice even when those add-ins get turned around, 4 plus 3 and 3 plus 4, does it change the sum at all? No, it doesn't. The sum stays the same. Okay, I have 7 for both of my sums. All right, we are going to get some more practice on the next pages, but if you need more time with this page, go ahead and pause the video. And now we're going to go ahead and look at the next part of the lesson. So here's Jada, and she's going to give us another example of adding in any order with these cubes here, okay? She says you can change the order of the addends. The sum is the same. Hey, that's what we just talked about on the last page. That sum is going to stay the same. So to begin with, they have 4 and 2 is 6. Okay, so there's 4 red cubes and 2 blue cubes, and that gave them a sum of 6. Okay, if we want to check that, it sounds like this: 4, 5, 6, right? Okay, good. But what happens if they take those cubes and they flip-flop them? So now I have 2 and 4. 2 and 4 is, yeah, also 6, right? And again, if we want to count on, we can say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It gives us the same sum, all right? So in the next box, all she did was take that picture model and she wrote it into an equation. So first she had 4 plus 2 equals 6. And in the next equation, she had 2 plus 4 equals 6, right? All right. And she tells us you can write 2 addition equations. All right. Okay. Last box. 4 plus 2 equals 6, and 2 plus 4 equals 6. My sums stay the same. Okay. And you'll also notice that you can write the equation from side to side, or you can write it from top to bottom like they did in this last box. 4 plus 2 equals 6, and 2 plus 4 equals 6. All right, guys, good job. Let's go ahead, excuse me, and look at our guided practice. The directions here say to color to change the order of the addends. So for this, you are going to want to get probably a box of crayons. I have my box of crayons here. And then you're going to write the addition equation. Okay, so if you need to pause the video so you can grab your crayons, go ahead and do that. And the two things we're going to be doing is coloring to change the order of the addends and writing the equation. Okay, so for number 1, I have 3 blue cubes plus 1, 2, 3, 4 orange cubes. So they wrote the addition equation to match that model. So I'm writing 3 plus 4, and that equals or gives me a sum of 7. If I want to check that, I can count on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 altogether. Okay. All right, now I'm going to look at my next tower, and I'm going to need those same colors. So I'm going to need blue, and I'm going to need orange. So here's my orange crayon, and let's see. You guys find your blue, and I'll find my blue. Here's my blue crayon. It's blue-green, but that's okay. I'll make it work. Okay. And so this time I'm going to need to start with the orange counters. And I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4 orange, right? So let's go ahead and fill those in at the top. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on the bottom, I need 3 blue. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and write the equation to match this tower. I have 4 to begin with, plus 3, and that's going to equal a sum. Now, before I even use a strategy, the counting on strategy, if I know 3 plus 4 equals 7, then I can use that to help me with 4 plus 3 because it's the same addends, they just flip-flop them, right? Right, so 4 plus 3 would give me the sum of 7 as well. Okay, now I can go ahead and check it with my strategy. I have 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go, equals 7. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and look at the next example, number 2. Okay, here's my tower. This time I have purple and green. So I'm going to go ahead and put these crayons back. And now I'm going to take out the purple. Here's my purple and a green. Here's my green. Okay. So I can look at my first model and count 1, 2, 3, 4 purples. So that's going to be my first add-in. Plus, I have 1 green. Okay. 4 plus 1 equals a sum of, okay, if you're not sure, 4, 5, right? Okay, so I have a sum of 5. Now for my second tower, I'm going to flip-flop this model. So I'm going to begin with 1 green. Draw that, color that first. And to that, I'm going to add 4 purple. So I'm just going to go ahead and color those in this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to write the equation to match the model I just colored. So I have 1 green plus 4 purple equals, all right guys, if I know 4 plus 1 equals 5, then I can use that to help me with 1 plus 4. That's right, 1 plus 4 is going to have the same sum. It's also 5. All right, to check that, I can count on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, 5. All right, okay, you guys are getting some great math skills here, and you're using lots of different strategies. So that's really good. You're really developing your sense of numbers. So I'm proud of you guys. We're going to look next at the independent practice. It's asking us to write the sum, then change the order of the add-ins, write the new addition equation. So we're doing the same strategy, boys and girls. We're just not doing the picture model this time. So let's just do one example, number 3. I have 2 plus 3 equals blank. Now, I know many of you have this in your long-term memory already. We can check it by counting on. So we're going to say 2, and then we're going to count on 3 more. Sounds like this, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? My sum is 5. All right, and in my second equation, all I'm going to do is flip-flop those add-ins. So instead of 2 plus 3, I'm going to write 3 plus 2. Okay, and you guys got it. My sum is going to be the same, right? I put 3 in my head, 3, 4, 5. Same sum. All right, so you're going to do that same strategy for numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then on the bottom, they have number sense. So I'm going to go ahead and do one example with you, number 9. It says use the numbers on the cards to write 2 addition equations. So here are my numbers. Now, our addition equations have to make sense. So these are the 3 numbers that I'm using, but they have to be true facts. Okay, so if I start, let me ask you this. What are the 2 numbers that I would have to add in order to get the third number out of the cards that I have here? Okay, let's try. If I add 3 plus 8, could I get 5? That doesn't make sense, right? Because if I have 3 and 8, I'm going to get a bigger number. I'm not going to get a smaller number, right? How about if I add 3 and 5? Will that give me a sum of 8? Let's check it. We'll put 3 in our head and count on 5 more. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It sure does. So my equation is going to be 3 plus 5 equals 8. Now, if I know 3 plus 5 equals 8, I'm going to write my second equation by just flip-flopping those numbers. I can say 5 plus 3 also equals 8. Okay, so now I've used all 3 cards to make 2 different equations. All right, you're going to do that same strategy with number 10 on your own. Okay, and then if you would like more challenging questions, you can turn to the back to numbers 11, 12, and 13 and try some of those on your own as well. Okay. If you have any questions, you can always bring this to your Google Meet and we can talk about it. All right. But other than that, thanks for being with me today and I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.